Good morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching this cast. I'm your host, Leafy Potato, and welcome to another NRTS 1v1 cast. This is being done sort of as a backup cast, and also because I just have procrastinated on this. I was gonna cast a 56-minute long game today, and I was in the process of doing that, and then got interrupted at the 48-minute mark and decided, you know what, I'll try again tomorrow. So maybe that's the cast for tomorrow. Who knows? Anyways, this game is played between me and YEETthebowah. As I go for an early chopper, I kind of messed this up. This is going to end up being a 4-farm helipad, which is, I don't know if optimal is exactly what this is. Take it back. It's going to be a 5-farm heli, but I already spent the money on the airpad. It's not a huge deal, it just makes it easier to react to from my opponent, who is going for, I believe it's a militia, could be a bit wrong. He's greeting really hard with his workers, forgot to build one of his CC farms. Looks kinda to me like, okay, yeah, he's got 3 workers, but just forgot to build the CC farm. I guess the one that's building the pocket farm is gonna go back, get the CC farm, and then rally towards my base like this guy is here. Gonna get the chopper really soon. Yeah, it'll be out at about the 27-second mark. Got my workers in position to go and take forward farms whenever. So this chopper's gonna be out pretty early. My only goal here is kill his workers, as is usually the case with a chopper open. Workers are the most valuable thing that you can hit in the early game. They're 30 bucks. They can't shoot back. They can make farms, so I mean, sure, you can shoot at the enemy's farm, but that takes a while with one chopper. Versus you can shoot at the enemy's worker, which only takes 4 shots, and then the worker is gone and unable to do anything else. I end up missing that last shot. Actually, no, it ends up targeting a different worker, so he's still got all 3 of his workers. I take some CC fire, but that's not a big deal. I'm gonna just now poke away at one of his farms. He's got some militia here. That's not a huge deal. He's just gonna make it so that I can't engage his farm for free. That's fine. I've got another farm to target as I expand myself. Worker's a little bit out of position here. Yeah, I believe in this position I take 2 more farms and then I make a chopper. Probably wouldn't be a horrible call. I could alternatively just save for the second chopper right now, but my eco's not terribly high for that. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and take 2 more farms and then get the chopper. Actually, it's gonna take a while for my workers to get there. Anyways, I'm still poking away at his farms. He's massed some militia here, but that's not much of a cause for concern. I think in this scenario, where he's got this militia already, he's building another house, and he's looking to push with 12 militia towards my base, I should probably have just gone ahead and got the second chopper a little earlier. Stop whatever shenanigans he gets to try here. He's gonna probably just walk forward with these militia as soon as he sees my worker coming down towards this farm. I bring my chopper just to help a little bit. Choppers trade okay against militia. Their main strength is just that they take a militia down in 4 shots, and so they, like, unit to unit, the chopper is really good against militia. So as you continue expanding, you know, even though they have a numbers advantage, not all of their numbers can be fighting your ball of choppers. Like right here, even like he had like 4 militia shooting at 2 of my choppers, despite the fact that he had a whole bunch more than that. Using his militia to cover this forward tower is a really good strat. Now, of course, with the new update, or relatively new update, I guess, it depends on where you're watching this, you couldn't do that. You'd have to build the farm first, and I could potentially go and harass that, and then you'd have to build the tower, so order of operations matters a little bit. I think you still would have been able to get it up. I just would have had a little bit more time to contest. So I was like, okay, fine, whatever. He's towering one of the fronts of my base here. That's not a huge issue. I've got 2 choppers on the map. I don't really have a great target that I can hit here. I can hit his back farm, but I want to keep my choppers in position to deny his militia any ability to push into me. He's trying to push anyways, but 3 choppers in this guy against militia is not bad. If I recall correctly, I do end up losing a chopper to one of the militia missing and hitting it. Of course, it's always better to have your healthier unit, or most always better to have your healthier units in the front. But yeah, there it gets targeted down, shot out of the sky. That kind of sucks, but it was at low HP anyways. It was a, you know, keeping that gun around is important, but it's not gonna, probably not gonna lose me the game. He's gonna put a second tower down on this side of my base, but I've still got avenues where I can hop my choppers around the map wherever I need to go. Hell, I could probably even push past his tower. Just chopper's fast enough. I'm not going to take that many tower shots in the pursuit of getting around his static, or getting through his static rather. He's gone and lost a bit of militia. He's not making it actively himself. He's focused a bit too much on this front here. Right, if it was continuing militia production at home and also housing up, this might be an actual threat to me, but considering how idle his command center has been, he's got, like, what is that? 6 militia. He's making a vehicle depot here. He's trying to make anti-air, and then yeah, I'm just gonna go fly over that vehicle depot, and that's that. I'm gonna kill his workers if I can. I don't mind that I'm in tower range. I'm losing a chopper, but if I can get 2 of his workers, then that's what I want. And so I do. I lose 2 choppers for the privilege, but I clear all of his forces that are supporting this tower. I lose 3 choppers for the privilege. He's got a militia left alive. That was a bad call. But now, I've got choppers. He's missing all of his workers. They all died. He's got to rebuild his workers. He doesn't have a unit producing structure here, so his whole army is going to be militia. I have a complete army advantage. It's going to take him something like a minute to get any sort of force back together, and I've got chopper production going. I've got a better eco than him. I've gone ahead and taken the whole map, basically. At this point, I've got an economic advantage. I've got an army advantage. Orange is in a corner, and I set the pace of this game. I'm going to upgrade this command center because I haven't done that, and it's just a decent economic play if you're floating some money, which I am. An extra chopper here probably wouldn't do much. Of course, I should be moving these choppers out on the map in an attempt to go and take out that damaged farm over there, just deny him some money. He's going to go, he's made 1 worker, made a house, made a 2nd worker. He's greeting his ass off right now, and that's not a horrible call. Basically, if I'm not going to go and punish him for it, you know, then he's just up. But here I've got, I believe I'm making militia here so that I can use them to tank damage for my choppers, which I would prefer to keep alive. Yeah, he's making militia as the main ground force. He doesn't really have anything to stop me from doing that. And militia chopper pushes pretty well into static. It doesn't like turrets very much, but, you know, militia are really cheap, and so that's not a problem. So yeah, militia chopper. I'm gonna get to the point now where I'm going to need to start house production if I'm going to keep this up. It wouldn't be a horrible idea to get an air pad, or not an air pad, a transport copter going so that I can get my workers over to that extra island, get an extra 4 farms. Alternatively, I can clear out Purple's base, get an extra 4 farms that way, but that's going to take some more units, so a little bit more time. At this point, I'm just getting my forces together, getting my workers to a spot where, you know, I've taken most of the free farms on this map. I'm missing 1 behind Blue's base and 1 off to the side of Green's base, not to mention the 1 in front of Orange and the 4 off to the island, but that's not a terrible lack of farms here. I'm gonna go and poke at the exposed farm that he's got now because I've got 3 choppers in the area. He's got 2. I forgot to mention that he got an air pad. I've been too focused on what the hell I've been doing. But he's got 2 choppers in the sky, but I still have a chopper advantage. I've got an economic advantage. I can afford to just keep making choppers. And beyond that, like, even if he chases me, like, what comes of that? He loses. He's got a numbers disadvantage here. Right? I'm going to just poke at this farm here. I'll fight his choppers when they come. Now, of course, I'm not formed up very well, but yeah, I've got an extra chopper in this guy, so I've got 4 choppers available, 3 choppers available to fight. I'm just going to play behind this farm. He really can't get anything done with this chopper right now. I'm floating way too much money. I really probably should have just made a worker back at home, been able to speed up the production of generators and houses, just get myself out of this rut, because I'm basically super housed right now. I need to make a house in order to make more units, but I need to make a generator to make another house. So to make more units, I have to now spend $75 all at once, which sucks, and that's going to take some time. But now I've got 5 militia and 5 choppers in this guy. I'm going to just go take a static out. He no longer has this static to play around. His units were out of position to defend it. He's going to go down, try to defend this other tower here, but I'm just going to go pick off this chopper that's all by itself. No, never mind, I'm not. I'm just going to directly engage his choppers with bad formation and lose one of my 5 choppers for free, make another chopper in the process. He tries to put turrets up here to defend this holding, but I've got militia now under this tower, which I can use to take shots from basically everything. They're just gonna distract the tower from shooting at my choppers, which are my main force. All good. So I'm now placing towers over near the exposed development that I've got over there with a couple houses and a generator. That way he can't just fly a couple of choppers over there that are low HP after taking a skirmish and ruin my day. More choppers in the production pipeline. Just I need to continue my housing. I need to continue making power. Just keep my workers busy over there. Of course, they're building towers right now, but there goes the house. And then I'll be making a generator next. Orange has these 4 farms. This is his entire economic presence. Of course, I'm trying to make a worker over here to bring it to the front so I can have 2 workers in the back doing resource things, and then 1 worker at the front being able to make towers and whatever and help me push forward. My main army here is still choppers, right? So like, you might think, oh, Orange can make anti-air and make your life a little bit of a problem, but if he commits to making anti-air on this low of an economy, then I can very easily switch to basically any other unit and be fine. And then the choppers can just exist, meaning that he has to keep the anti-air around, he has to keep up production of anti-air, and if he ever loses that anti-air, my choppers are just free again. Right, they get to do whatever they want. So he's got to keep a certain amount of anti-air on the map, regardless of how many he's made previously. And I can freely make however many units that I want that aren't anti-air and just crush him, basically. I'm going to push towers here. Just constrict him a little bit more. He's still got an avenue onto the map towards the direction of green space, but it's such a choke point that I could then go around with my forces and just slam him after holding the direct route to my base. Of course, you can go around the map and attack my base from the water, which is connected, right? So he can fly over the water with his choppers, try to snipe my base if I'm not paying attention, which I believe he does try to do in this game, and I just call it as soon as I see his choppers moving down towards this pocket. I'm like, I know where those are going. And then I pull my choppers back preemptively over my command center, which sure, that alleviates pressure on this choke here, but he doesn't have any resources to really push it, except for his choppers, which were over the water about to attack my base. So, position is everything. Got another worker. I pulled 1 worker off of my development. I really should have probably just made an extra worker because I've got a lot of pop space to fill here. I'm floating 91 bucks. Making a chopper, making a worker would not be a horrible idea, but I'm not going to do it. It is what it is. I've got this guy making a generator back here. I'm going to have him make a house soon. I believe at this front I'm going to be making a vehicle depot and then upgrading it just so I can get an artillery and just end this game with artillery rather than having to crash into him with choppers, which can then take very heavy losses from static. I mean, sure, you can get some really easy cheese kills with like 8 to 10 choppers just flying over a fairly lightly defended command center, but if you don't kill, you lose so much in the pursuit of denting his base, which he can then replace with $25 static. Yeah, not exactly a cost-effective trade. I love double-clicking on workers and bringing someone away from the area that they need to be in. It's always the best feeling. I'm spending my money okay right now. I think I'm gonna be saving for a hospital. Yeah, I'm floating money for a hospital here. I've noticed that I've got 3 choppers, which are really low. I figure, like, it's not a significant portion of my force, but if I get the hospital down now, then I can really afford to be skirmishing later. Or just to like push into his static over and over again, or prevent his army from hitting my artillery whenever it gets up. Or I can make medics and then push with arty medic into towers if he decides to make towers. You know, just the whole 9 yards. I can also use the hospital to justify then taking bases for basically free. Is going to keep my chopper production up now. Honestly, making that chopper instead of just banking that money for artillery was the best idea. I've got a relative chopper advantage in this little contingent that I've got out here. He's got 4 choppers, I've got 5, and I've got a hospital in the back, and I've got an extra 6 choppers, 4 of which are basically full HP. I think that's 7 in reserve. So I've got a really good positional advantage. I've got my choppers up on this ridge here. If he decides that he wants to move out towards my towers, they can very easily just pinch down. And if he decides that he wants to try to break out towards Green's base, then I can go and hit them by pushing up. So that's not a horrible idea at all. I've got a whole bunch of choppers here. I've got an artillery making. This is not a bad spot for me. My other worker that was supposed to be building generators and houses has been idle for a while now. I'm going to push over towards this tower, see if I can't get it out of the sky. Or not out of the sky, just like delete it. I lose 1 chopper in the pursuit. That kind of sucks, but that kind of frees up my artillery now. There's no longer any choppers, or not choppers, any towers around to deter this, right? And so he can try to push his choppers into my artillery here. I've got a tower that's going up. I'm just going to hit him, right? He can no longer build towers at this front. He doesn't have the money to continuously build towers that are going to be hit for free by artillery. I see his choppers going down here. I know exactly what that means. It's a contingent of, I think it's 5, maybe 6. I send my choppers back towards my base. I know what he was trying to do. He comes back and tries to hit this artillery, but I've got 4 towers at this point here. That's not going to be a very fun fight for those choppers. He's going to see if he can't kill something, but he doesn't even get a single one of my towers. I've got a hospital over here. He doesn't have much static defense. I'm just going to sit my choppers on his base. I'm bringing my artillery as well because, well, why not? He's just here for the party. And at this point, Orange is dead. And that, my friends, is a GG. Well played by Yeet. This is I think this is the second game that I played against Yeet. It might be the first. It's the first game on the channel, anyways. I think he's a very, very good opponent. He suffers a little bit on macro, but he's got a. He can be very devious. He's a bit of a trickster. Very promising young lad. I very much enjoyed playing against him. If you watched all the way through, thank you for watching. I hope that I've been more able to fill the blank space in these casts. I know that I've had a bad habit of just sitting here and saying or thinking really hard before talking instead of just filling the space with words. So I hope that I've gotten better in that regard, but anyways, if you watched all the way to the end, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed, and have a wonderful rest of your day, and remember, stay classy.